Hi, everybody, and good morning. Welcome to our first PACE Intro Psych Twitch live stream. I see a bunch of you joining me, getting your names in the chat. Somebody let me know, can you hear me and see me okay? The best way to communicate with me during this is to just put your comments in the chat box. If you give me a yes or like a thumbs up or something, I will know that you can hear and see me just fine. But see all of you putting your names. Yeah, somebody could just let me know in the chat. That would be fantastic. If you can hear my awful voice, right? I've been fighting, like, I hope it's just a cold, right? Okay, perfect. Thank you, Jackie. Perfect. Jasmine, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, great. It looks like all of you can hear me and see me. That's fantastic. My name is Elisa Setmire. I'm the instructor for this PACE Intro Psych course. So thank you so much for all of you who are joining me on here live, or if you're watching this later. And again, I'm sorry about my voice. I've been coughing, and I just hope it's not COVID, right? Like everybody seems to have COVID right now, and I'm hoping it's just because I've been talking a bunch and it's windy, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But thank you again for being on here with me. I had some issues with getting on here for my first class this morning, so I'm glad everything is working and we're up and running. This is Twitch. If you've never been on here before, it's typically used for video games, but I think it's kind of a fun pop culture use of a platform that a lot of people are familiar with. So thank you for being on here. What I want to do today is take a little bit of time to just kind of go through our Canvas site and show you a couple of things. This is a wonderful opportunity for you to ask me any questions that you might have about the class, about the website, about the ebook, anything. If you have questions at any point during our stream, you're going to want to go ahead and put that in the chat, and I'm monitoring that on my phone, and I will go ahead and try and answer all of your questions. You also want to make sure at some point today that you put your first and last name in the chat so that I can record that you are here. If you are subscribed to me on Twitch, and I gave you lots of instructions on how to do this, if you're subscribed, you don't have to worry about putting your first and last name in the chat. I can download a list of people who were on here. It saves me an incredible amount of time. So I really appreciate those of you who took the time to go through and do that. If you look in the chat, you can see some of you, if you have the little football cake next to your name, that means that you have subscribed. Several of you have just the little Twitch Prime crown, which means that you've linked your accounts, but you still have one more step to do, which is to find me and subscribe for free. Please don't ever pay for this, but the advantages of subscribing are that you have less ads. Ads drive me nuts. There'll be one ad at the beginning, and that's it if you're subscribed. And then also, as I said, I can download your name, which saves me a couple of different steps. So thank you for those of you who have done that. If you haven't done that, you could take a minute to do that now or when we're done today. I will remind you every week. I'll put that in the chat. I'll remind you every week to just double check. That free subscription only lasts for 30 days, but I think it's a really nice thing to be able to do, not only for your experience on your end, but it saves me some time on my end too. So thank you for those of you who have done that. But let's go ahead and go over to Canvas together. This is our Canvas homepage, and if you have made it here, then you are in wonderful, wonderful shape. Now, this class is 100% online. All of your lectures and materials will be done online. I've posted them all for you, and I will every single week. But I will be doing this Twitch live stream for about 30, 45 minutes a week, just to check in with you, to go over weekly reminders and announcements. It's a great opportunity for you to ask me questions. If there's something you don't understand, I can kind of highlight it. I can go over the things on our Canvas page. So I hope that you're able to make these as much as you possibly can. I understand that you might have classes that are at a specific time, or children, jobs, whatever you have going on. If you can't make these live, you can always watch the recording of them later. But it will be a great opportunity to interact with me just a little bit in substitution of us being in person. And hopefully my voice gets better. It's ridiculous. I've been drinking so much water and tea trying to make it better. But of course, for week one, I'd have to have a nice gravelly voice for you. But this is our course homepage, and what you'll see is, if you scroll down here, is there's some bunch of different links on this page. And here's where you start, the mandatory orientation, where it says start here. There's some instructor contact information, help and campus resources, course documents and videos. And then after that, it's just each of the weeks that we have for our semester. And I've been teaching online now for, oh man, about 12 years maybe or so. I'm very organized and I love teaching online. So hopefully that some of that is coming through. But the first thing for you to do is to click on that mandatory orientation module. And all of the documents for the course are here. So the syllabus is on here, the welcome letter that I sent out by email, textbook information. I have lots and lots of different resources, and I use a lot of videos and Twitch and YouTube links. So hopefully you are seeing that and enjoying that. I have some frequently asked questions. I have like a little student lounge where you can go and ask each other questions if you want. Here's that information on how to subscribe and find me on YouTube and Twitch, which I use constantly, and then a few other links and materials that will probably be helpful for you as well. So my biggest suggestion would be to look through all of these things, make sure that you're comfortable and familiar with them, especially the syllabus. If we click on that together, you'll want to read through this whole thing, and I've kind of tried to make other videos for you, but definitely read through the syllabus. It's going to tell you what you can expect, what are the different topics that we are going to cover throughout the semester, a little bit about the textbook, which I'll talk more about in a moment, some computer and system requirements, course policies and codes of conduct, and so on. I really want this to be a safe and inclusive learning environment, even though we're online. Some policies about late work. I'm very strict about late work because you have 2 weeks available to you at any given time. So you have an incredible amount of flexibility because this is a PACE course. So I'm very strict on the deadlines. Once they pass, I do not accept things late. So please just be really mindful and aware of the deadlines as we're going through the semester. Don't copy or cheat. Give me all of your own beautiful, creative, unique work. It's a no smoking campus, which doesn't affect us at all since we're not in person. And then I have the breakdown of the different components. You do have a little mandatory orientation quiz that is due before this Sunday, and that allows you to stay in the course. It's just my way of making sure that you've logged in, that you're getting going, and that you would like to stay in the course and understand the requirements. Every week, you're going to be doing 2 discussions, and I'm going to show you those and talk a little bit more about those as well. These are in substitution of like a more in-class traditional discussion. You'll have a closing assignment. You'll take 4 exams throughout the course of the semester. Basically, we take a full semester class and we're squishing it down into 8 weeks. So we want to make sure that you're staying on top of things. You have a little bit more each week than you would traditionally in a normal course, but I'll show you where you can take these exams. We'll talk a lot about our first one that we have next week when we do our Twitch live stream next week. You can see the distribution for grades right here. Everything's just based on points. If you have a memo with access, please make sure that you reach out to me. These live streams as well, if you do need someone to be an interpreter and interpret these for you live, reach out to me. We can work with access to do that. Or if you watch these later, they will have captions. Once I'm able to put them into Studio and caption them and post the recording, you should have that available to you if you're watching it later. There's some information about student support, college deadlines and information, our course schedule. Again, this is a PACE course, Program for Accelerated College Education. So it's an 8-week class. And traditionally, if you took a class with me online, you have access to 1 week at a time. But since this is a PACE course, I'm giving you 2 weeks of material to give you a little bit better flexibility. So what you'll see is every 2 weeks, Monday morning at 12:01 a.m., 2 weeks of materials will open up, and then they'll be due the following that following Sunday night. And I think if you look at the schedule on the syllabus here, it makes a little more sense. So yesterday morning, week number 1 and week number 2 opened up for you. The materials for week 1 is what we'll be focusing on this week in our live stream, and then I'll focus on the week 2 ones next week. But if you wanted to work a little bit ahead, you do have access to all of that right now. And all of the materials from weeks 1 and 2 is due by the 23rd at 11:59 p.m. And I think this little snapshot right here is a really nice way of looking at what is due and when. So we're in this first fourth of the semester right here. For this week, you have a couple of chapters. So you have two that you're reading, two chapters in the textbook, two discussions, and so on. And then next week, these materials, you could focus on those unless you wanted to work a little bit ahead. So I will bring this up every week as kind of a quick reminder. I think it's a very nice visual representation of that. But make sure that you do look over the entire syllabus. I kind of just glossed over it pretty quickly. But look over that whole syllabus. That's going to be very helpful for you in knowing what is expected of you, what your grades are made up of, how to get a hold of me, and all of that kind of information. The other really big thing that you need to do right away is you do need to buy a copy of the ebook. Now, I have some information here, and I also sent this out in the announcement, but the ebook is the textbook that we'll be using throughout the course of the semester. And you'll notice when you see this, I did write the textbook, which I think is kind of fun. It took me years to do. And I also wanted to do this in an effort to keep the cost of the book very low. The average psychology textbook costs around $250 or more. Ours, I believe, is 73 or 78. That's really, really affordable as far as textbooks go. But you do need to buy the ebook and you need to get it right away in order to pass the class. The ebook has all of the chapters. It also has all of the exams. So if you don't have the ebook, you won't be able to do those requirements. So please make sure that you get that right away. I have a link right here as to where you can purchase it. There's also more links in the announcements, some information if you run into problems with ordering or accessing the ebook. But please try and get this right away. Today, if you haven't already, get it registered, get logged in, and get going on the ebook materials. I also have a link to the ebook on the homepage. So you're probably going to want to like save this somewhere in your bookmarks. But right here is the ebook link. Once you have purchased it and registered it, then you should be all set. EMZEN. It looks like you figured out how to do the free subscription with Prime. Nice job. I know that's a little tricky. Once you do it the first time, you're in great shape. But nice job, Emily. Thank you for figuring that out. But once you get that ebook and register it, this is what the ebook website looks like. And so you have to do this login, and this trips everybody up. I don't know why they have this extra screen. But once you log in, you hit this little play button right here. And then make sure that you select the right section. I do have 4 sections of Intro Psych. We are the P.A.C.E one, which is the 31109. And once you log in, it looks like this, right? And I've worked very hard on this web page. I think it's pretty user-friendly. But it has a little welcome and a video right here. If you go up here, the chapters for the ebook are up here at the top. All right, so this week we're covering chapters 1 and 2. You can also get some additional resources that if you were taking this class with me in person might be helpful. The exams are up here at the top as well. So for example, the mandatory orientation quiz, here is where you would go to take that. You would hit begin your attempt. And you need to do this before Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. in order to stay in the course. And again, this is my way of just making sure that you have checked everything out, that you have your copy of the ebook, that you're all ready to go. So please make sure that you do this before Sunday night if you would like to stay in the class. And when you're ready to do it, let me show you what this looks like. You're going to hit begin your attempt. Get some water here. And you'll notice that there is a time limit of 15 minutes, and it's going to start ticking down the minute that you begin. There are 10 questions on this, and every time that you complete one of them, you're going to want to save it. So here, let's do question 1 together. If you miss an exam or discussion, it can be made up the following week. That's going to be false, right? And then you want to save your answer. And then you'll notice once you save it, it turns like a gold or orange color. And then you move on to the next one. Which of the following is not true about your instructor? That I hate football. I love football. I'm a huge, huge football fan. If you read through the mandatory orientation, you would know that. Save that answer, right? And so anytime that you complete a question, it turns that gold or orange color. You can skip around, so I can skip ahead or move ahead if I want to. You'll notice the gray questions are ones that I skipped. But make sure that you save all of your answers, and then once you're done, you'll hit I am finished, submit for a grade. The second that you submit your quiz, it's going to give you a score. I got a shameful 2 out of 10. In all fairness, the 2 I attempted, I got right. You'll see the ones that you got correct and then the ones that you missed. Notice something, you'll notice this, that your score doesn't automatically come into Canvas. I have to upload it into Canvas. So what I will typically do is do that once the deadline has passed. So if you don't see your score in Canvas, that's not a problem at all. You will see it in the ebook site. So if I go back to the ebook website here, you would see it in your gradebook on here, which is just a temporary housing of your score. And then I will bring those scores over once the deadline has passed. So make sure that you are reading the chapters on here. This is where you could find them. Again, I wrote all of this, so hopefully you can kind of hear my voice in it. And there's lots of examples. I think it's very approachable. Anything that's highlighted, you can get the definitions from it. There's images in here. There's lots of materials and information, but I tried to make it very approachable, so hopefully you find it to be that way. The exams are on here, so that's where you need that mandatory orientation. But make sure that you get your copy of the ebook right away. That information can be found here in announcements. So if you go to that first announcement, there's a link about where to purchase the ebook. There's some links about free Amazon Prime if you would like to subscribe on Twitch. Again, please don't ever pay for that. That's something that should be completely free for you to do. But that's probably order of business number 1. Get your copy of the ebook and then go complete the mandatory orientation lecture. And if you click on this, you'll notice that it's like a 5-page lecture format, and all of them are going to look like that throughout the course of the semester, where there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little tabs. And you can listen to me reading it to you if you want. Hit play.
Overview. Please complete the following 5 items.
Super awkward, right? We won't play that out loud. I had it muted, which is probably good so that you don't hear 2 of me talking at the same time. But you can listen to the audio of it. You'll notice there's 5 different things that you should be doing. Reading through these pages, read through the syllabus, complete the mandatory orientation quiz on the ebook site, find me on Twitch and YouTube, and I have some instructions again on how to do that. The second page is going to go over what can you expect each week, what is kind of like the course organization for the class, so make sure you read through that. Some information about myself. Again, I'm a huge football fan. I've done 92 escape rooms. I'm obsessed with escape rooms. Somebody said they'd done like 130 of them in their introduction, so I know I'm not the only one. I love the holidays. I give you a little bit of information about myself. I have lots of pets, and if I'm teaching this at home like I am today, there's always a good chance that one of my cats or dog will kind of join us on the stream. There's some computer and internet information if you need a little bit of help if things aren't working properly. And then the last page is if you need more help, there's a link to the college distance ed website, Canvas support. If you're having struggles with the ebook specifically, here's some information on who to reach out to. And of course, you can always email me as well. I check my email all the time, and I will try and get back to you pretty quickly. So make sure that you read through all of the mandatory orientation materials, look over the syllabus, click on and look at all these resources that I've put out here for you. I spent a lot of time putting them up, so please go through and do that. You already found me clearly on Twitch, but if you need to figure out how to subscribe, here's all the information here. I gave you like step-by-step instructions on how to do that. So I would definitely go through there and look at all of that information. And then once you've completed all of that, you can go ahead and get started on week number 1. I know I'm talking a lot. I'm trying to make sure I get through everything. Are there any, I'm going to put this here in the chat. Are there any questions at all so far? Any thoughts, questions, anything? I'm going to go through the materials for week number 1 in a moment, but any questions or comments or anything at the moment? I'll wait just a moment, usually about 30 seconds behind me, but I hope that you will feel comfortable putting questions and thoughts in the chat as we go through the semester. I would love to have that interaction with you, and it makes me feel like you're still here. Yes, put your name, first and last name, in the chat for attendance. Unless you're subscribed, then you don't need to worry about it. But yes, if you could do that, that would be fantastic. Right. Perfect. Thank you, Francis. All right, so once you have done all of those things, once you've checked out all of this stuff, you have your ebook, you've read through everything, you can go ahead and get started on week number 1. So you can get there by clicking week number 1, or you could go to modules. It's totally up to you. Either way, we'll get you there. But for week number 1, what you'll see is I've compiled everything that you need to do under the week number 1 folder. So for week 1, we're focusing on chapter 1 and chapter 2. And for each chapter, probably the first thing that you're going to want to do is read that chapter in the ebook, which remember you can access here on the ebook site. Once you've read the chapter in the ebook, I've created a lecture and a lecture video for you, and you're going to want to do both of these elements. So the lecture, if we click on that, is the same format as the mandatory orientation lecture. It's got 5 tabs: summary, beyond the book, in pop culture, key terms and review, and application. And you can always listen to this if you would like to listen to me read it to you. The first page will be summary. Then it'll be beyond the book. These are any videos or materials that I feel like are relevant that I would like you to explore. Anything that's on here, make sure you're watching it, clicking on all of the links. In pop culture, trying to give you some connections and links to things that are in popular culture, movies, TV shows, books, and so on. Key terms and review is going to be the page that tells you all of the terms you need to know from this chapter for the exam. When we get to our exam next week, I will talk a little bit about that more and how to prepare and study. And then the last page will always be application. Now that I've read through everything in the book, how can I apply this to my life in some way? And again, anytime I have links in here, make sure that you click on them. Same thing for chapter 2. And then there's a lecture video that will be underneath it. And every week you're going to want to watch these lecture videos. These are me lecturing to the PowerPoint slides that go with it. So you might consider taking notes. The materials on these will definitely appear on the exams. So these live streams are more me giving you reminders and making sure you're on track and feedback and so on. These are the lectures that you're going to want to watch. And they're me lecturing to the PowerPoint slides that go with the chapter. So again, you might want to consider taking notes on them, or at least just paying attention and knowing it's there for you if you need it later. So read chapter 1 and 2 in the ebook. Read through and watch any lecture videos and materials in the lectures and the lecture videos. And then once you've done all that, you have 2 discussions each week. So discussion 1 is related to chapter 1, and discussion 2 related to chapter 2. And because this is an 8-week class, we're doing kind of double. If this was a full semester, you would just have 1 chapter and 1 discussion. But let's take a look at discussions so you can get an idea of what those look like. If we click on discussion 1, at the top here, you have your instructions. These are the things that you need to do. Watch the little introduction video, answer all of the questions below, read through a minimum of 5 of your classmates' responses and reply to one of them. So I made you a little video for every single one of these, and I would definitely recommend watching these. They're relatively brief, but it's going to be me going over the prompt, giving you some tips, and maybe elaborating a little bit more. But here are the questions for discussion number 1. Right before starting this class, what did you think of when someone mentioned the word psychology? In other words, did you have any notions or stereotypes about the field of psychology and the people who work in it? Several subfields were mentioned in the textbook and lecture. Briefly describe one of them and give an example of a career within that subfield. And then nurture works on what nature endows. Define nature, define nurture, and describe what you think the quote means using your own words. Now, once you have read through everything and you feel ready to answer these, you'll hit the reply button right here. And what that will do is it will open up a text box where you can type your responses. It's not a bad idea to save your responses just in case something goes wrong or maybe it gets lost. Definitely make sure that you're saving these. And when you're done, you'll hit post reply. You're also going to want to read through a bunch of your classmates' posts and reply to one of them by hitting reply. So it's kind of a 2-part thing, right? You're going to want to make sure that you're not only replying to my questions, but also to one of your classmates. If you ever want to see the rubric, you can access it up here through the little snowman or 3-dot icon. And remember that these are more like little mini papers, so please make sure that you're answering them fully. So you can see a couple of people have answered this. You might want to make sure again that you're elaborating, that you're answering all of my questions fully and completely. There is some information up here in this discussion rubric and sample. If you want to see what a sample post looks like and what I'm going to be grading on and what the rubric looks like, not a bad idea to click on that and explore it. You also have a discussion 2, which is related to chapter 2. And for this one, you're looking at research questions, same concept. Once you've read through everything, watch my video, and you're ready to go, you'll hit reply and we can respond to my questions along with then replying to one of your classmates, one of your peers. So make sure that you're following all these instructions, watching the video, answering these questions. Again, think of them like little mini papers. This is your chance to show off that you understand the materials, that you can apply them. So you want to answer them fully so that you get those full points on those posts. So those are the big things to do for this week. Again, read chapter 1 and 2 in the ebook. Watch and complete the lectures and lecture videos for each of those. Do discussion 1 and discussion 2. And then I'll give you a Twitch extra credit question here in a moment. And you'll see here, once we're done today, I will post the recording of this. If you wanted to watch it later, or if you weren't able to make it, you can always watch the recording of it afterward. And remember that week number 2 is open for you. So if you wanted to do the materials from week 2, they're not due until the 23rd. So 2 weeks from now, that Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. But on our live stream next week, I'll go through week number 2 materials. But if you wanted to work ahead because you know next week's going to be busy for you, you do have the access to those now, though we'll focus on them next week. If you have trouble with your internet, Eva or Maria, sorry, you can always log out and come back in, or you can watch the recording later. With the wind, right, my internet was acting up this morning as well, so I definitely understand. So the only other thing for this week to give you is to give you that Twitch extra credit question. What I will do every week is I will give you an extra credit question that relates to something from the content for the week. And for joining me on here live, you can get those 2 points of extra credit by answering that question. Right. So before I do that, are there any? Let me go back here to this page. Are there any other questions? Questions, comments, concerns, anything at all that I can answer? Again, I'm so sorry that my voice is all gravelly and kind of messed up. Hopefully it'll be a little bit better next week. I definitely am fighting something, just like so many people. There's so much going around between COVID and the flu, and then Flu-Rona and Deltacron, and it's just ridiculous. So I hope all of you are staying safe and taking care of yourself. I've been so careful, but my kids go to school and they wear their masks, like, below their nose, and they touch everything, and so who knows? It's so hard to know, when you're sick or not. So, are there any other questions though? Anything else that you would like me to go over before I give you that Twitch extra credit question for today? I'm gonna wait just one more minute just to see. And again, biggest things for right now, just a couple of quick reminders while I'm waiting for you. I'm going to put this here in the chat. Reminders. Okay. Make sure you get your ebook and register it right away. Okay. Get your ebook and register it. Right. That's probably reminder number 1. You want to make sure that you get your ebook and register it. Find and subscribe on Twitch. If you haven't done that yet, you're going to want to make sure that you do that. And that's something that's going to be very helpful for you and also helpful for me. I don't, but that might be something that we could always look at creating. If somebody wants to create a Discord like study link, that would be totally fine. Or on our page here, remember that there is, I'm just clicking on things. There is that little right here, this little student lounge that you could all meet in together to discuss things related to the exams. But if somebody wanted to make a Discord server related to studying and preparing, that would be kind of fun and totally welcome to do. So get your ebook, register it, find me and subscribe on Twitch if you haven't already, and then get going on the mandatory orientation materials and week number 1 materials. Okay, and next week what we'll do is we'll cover all of the stuff for week number 2. But for now, at least focus on week number 1. We will keep the same Twitch live stream day and time, at least for the first 3 weeks of the semester. Once we find out if we're going back virtual at all, or if we're still going to be 100% online or in person, at that point, I will let you know if I'm going to change it. But for now, we'll keep the same time, so we will have our next Twitch live stream on Tuesday next week. Well, I can't type and talk. Tuesday at 10 o'clock. I'm sorry, 9:30 a.m. And next Tuesday is the 18th. On Tuesday, 1/18 at 9:30 in the morning. And typically these will last about 30 to 45 minutes. Next week, what I will do is I'll talk about week number 2, including the first exam, and I'll make sure that you're feeling as good about that as you can. Let me give you the Twitch extra credit question and show you how you can answer that. So every week, again, I will give you an extra credit question worth up to 2 points as a reward for joining me. I hope you do these every week. Those points will add up. So the extra credit question for this week is, what does the phrase correlation versus causation mean? Describe and give an example. And this is something from chapter 2 that you should be able to answer after you've completed the chapter 2 materials. So once you're ready to answer that, you'll go back to Canvas. And since we're in week number 1, you'll click on Twitch extra credit number 1. And then up here at the top, you'll click on Start Assignment. And that will bring up this little text box down here where you can type your response. And once you've typed out your full response answering that question, you'll hit Submit Assignment, and that's going to give you a little confetti burst and hopefully 2 points worth of extra credit. Now, this is due all the way at the end of this first 2 weeks, so before January 23rd at 11:59 p.m. But if you submit these early, I do grade them throughout the week, so if you get it wrong for some reason, I can let you know, and then you'll have some time to resubmit it. But I will give you one of those questions every single week. And what you can do is you can go ahead and submit it through the extra credit link for that week. Don't forget that I will post a recording of this. It sometimes takes a couple of hours for me to get it downloaded and then uploaded to you. But later today, I will post a recording of this lecture so that you can watch it later and reference it later if you would like to. But don't forget to get going. Again, get your ebook immediately, register it on the ebook site, do that mandatory orientation lecture and quiz. The quiz is due by this Sunday night. Okay, so please don't forget to do that. Make sure that you have your notifications set up so that you're getting all of my announcements and emails and messages. That's really important, especially this semester with all of the unknown with COVID. If you ever have any questions, please email me. I am here. I'm a real person, and I'm here for you, and I'm happy to help you out in any way that I can. But get going on all the materials. If there are any other questions, what I will do is I will hang out for a little bit, and you can put them in the chat. If you don't have any questions, then you can feel free to log out and get going on the stuff for this week. Somebody asked me here in a whisper question how you subscribe. So I'm going to show you really quickly on Twitch. I have to show you on my friend's channel. I can't show you online. So I'm going to go to my friend's channel. My buddies are Sticker G. So let's pretend this was my channel for a minute here, right? So if you were on my channel, there's this button right here that's purple that says resubscribe. And if you click on that purple drop down, again, don't ever pay for this. See how it says way down here at the bottom, use Prime sub? So if I click on that, I can subscribe for free with Prime. Okay, so don't ever pay for this. If you don't have Prime, you can get it free for 6 months. I sent out some information about that. If your parents or a sibling have it, you can use that, use theirs. You get one free subscription with your Prime membership. So if you can use that, that would be fantastic. And if not, please don't pay for it. This should be free for you. But all the way down at the bottom, so let me show you one more time. If you were on my page, my Psyched with Setmire page, you would see this button right here. You click on the purple, scroll down, and then right here, use Prime sub, and then you would hit subscribe for free with Prime. And the advantage to that, again, it's good for 30 days, and then you have to resubscribe, and I'll show you how when we get closer. But on my channel, that would be how you do that. So I can't subscribe to myself. And I'm looking, you can see me talking right now, but you would hit the drop down button. And again, all the way down at the bottom, you would do that subscribe for free with Prime. And if you can do that, I can download your participation. You don't have to worry about all of the ads, and it makes it, I think, miles and miles easier for you to find me. Thank you. Thank you for the well wishes. I feel pretty good other than my throat, so hopefully it won't get worse, right? I do normally have a little bit more energy and feel a little better, so I'm sorry about that. But I hope you all have a wonderful first week. I hope that you're all hanging in there and taking care of yourselves. Try and stay safe and stay healthy. I know as I'm sick, telling you to stay healthy is ridiculous, but I hope that you all hang in there and stay healthy. If you have any questions, I'll hang out for a little while. Otherwise, get going on all the materials for this week. And I will see you all next week for our week number 2 Twitch live stream. Thank you so much. Thank you for the well wishes. Okay. So again, I'm going to hang out for a few minutes, but I'm going to minimize my video. If you do have any other questions, I am here and happy to answer them. Otherwise, I will see you all next week. Thank you so much for those of you who joined me live. I love it. It makes it much more interactive, so thank you so much. And I will hope to see you next Tuesday morning. Of course, you as well. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you too. Again, I will hang out for a few minutes. If you think of any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, or you can always email me later during the week if you think of something. That's totally fine too. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, everyone, it looks like most of you have logged out. I typically will wait about 10 minutes or so just to make sure there aren't any other questions. If you think of anything, please feel free to email me. Otherwise, I'm going to close this up so I can post this video for those of you who want to watch it, the recording of it later. But thank you all again so much for being on here with me live. And if you think of any questions during the week, feel free to email me.